What's going on, everybody? You're tuned in back to Premier Radio on Temple Student Run Radio Station. With radio. Got Darius not on the boards today, my bad. Darius, what I'm gonna run with today?
You Darius.
I'm gonna be Darius.
Man.
I'm gonna be Darius individual again. I want to use that one. I gotta stress that one. Who else you got to do today?
Once again, you got your boy John. What's up?
We got Cold World in the building.
So you're just gonna say the ad name?
I'm just say Cold World. I'm Cold World.
J. Cole don't know you. He never will.
That's how he gonna get to know me. Free promo.
Free promo.
And who else we got in the building right now?
We got Ev in the building. Not young Ev today, just Ev.
She grew up. She grew
Right.
up.
So of course we got our guests making a feature, an appearance. We got HRJR in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You coming all the way from Jersey, so how was the ride coming down here?
Oh, the ride was smooth. I came early. I've been here in Philly for a couple hours, so had some meetings to take care of, and then some other things to take care of. And I'm here, so I'm
I don't know necessarily where to start because you do many things. You have 2 books. You have Find a Way to Make a Way.
Right.
And you have Success as a Journey.
You've been doing your homework on me. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I have to. We got
No
to.
doubt. No doubt.
We got to.
Yes, sir.
You're also not a motivational speaker, but a MotivACTION speaker. So
Absolutely.
Let's break that down into terms. How can you describe that for our listeners right now?
All right. I've been speaking professionally, about almost 10 years now. And I started out using the title as everyone else who's in this industry as a motivational speaker, but I felt as though that so many people were using that title, and quite frankly, some of them they deserve it. So it's like it's kind of getting washed out, watered down. So I needed to do something to kind of separate myself from the pack just a little. And in breaking down that word motivation, all right, when you break that word down, you break it down into motive, which is your reason for doing whatever it is you do. And ation is a suffix or another word for action. So what I did was I flipped it, and my tagline is I'm a motivational speaker. I'm your motivational coach. And if you don't know what motivation means, motive plus action equals results, and results equal success.
Okay. So also you, knowing that we did our research as well, you say that if you're not a part of the problem,
You're part of the solution.
So in what case have you been in situations where somebody was part of the problem, you said that was enough, you need to change your surroundings, change what you're doing so you can make that success?
Oh, bro, that's just about anybody in almost any category of life. That you have to reach a point in your life where you realize that there's more for you to have. There's more for you to do. There's more for you to be. So if you reach the point to where you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, then that's that point where the MotivACTION seeps in, even if you don't know it, because you have a reason. You only have to put some action behind it in order to produce those results. And even if your results initially are not successful, you can go back and learn from what you did wrong and then jump back into the fight again. Take it, for example, your favorite sports, athletes, teams, what have you, they don't lose a game and then wrap up the whole team. They go back to the locker room, they watch the tapes, they watch where they went wrong. Your boxers, your fighters or whatever, they watch the tapes, they watch where they went wrong, watch what they could have did better, and then the next time, they go back in and train on those areas where they went wrong.
Okay. So also you have your own business as well.
Yes.
You speak on HRJR Enterprises.
Yes, sir. HRJR Enterprises is basically a consultation firm. I work with people who are actively seeking to improve their conditions. So I wear quite a few hats. I'm a speaker. As you mentioned, I'm an author, and I'm also a certified professional life coach. And that's also a title that's kind of starting to get watered down, because anybody who thinks they have a positive attitude and wants to charge people money can call themselves a life coach. I happen to be certified. I actually did the research to find organizations that actually train people how to become life coaches, and got myself certified. So in that industry right now is something that's not regulated yet. So there are people making money in it, but not enough to where the government is taking notice and saying they want their cut. Okay, at some point in time, the government's gonna come in and say, we want our cut, in which case everybody's gonna have to be certified in order to do it. But those of us who are actually, for lack of a better phrase, true to the game and want to add some legitimacy to what it is that we do because we really care about what we do, we actually go through the process of getting certified right from the gate.
All right, so still speaking on the topic of motivation, right? Because all of us are on social media. We do either whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. So also you use those platforms as well.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you see, especially with any type of Twitter, Black Twitter, any type of followers that you do see, people feel like because they have that platform, they can say whatever they want, and it feels like they're trying to motivate people. But sometimes it's kind of hard because you don't necessarily know who they are and what they do. So it's like, should you be taking that information or should not? So do you feel like people are on there just to talk, or is it like, are they really trying to motivate people?
Here's the thing. It's on one of my friends, actually, brother from Philly, shout out to my man Dave Anderson. Congratulations on your newborn baby girl. Something he said to me a while ago after we started, learning from one another. He said one of the best things about social media is that people can get on there and say whatever it is they want to say. And one of the worst things about social media is people can get on there and say whatever it is they want to say. So you have to really pay attention, not so much to what people are saying, but what are their qualifications? What qualifies them to say what it is? What are their credentials? What's their background? People want to say, well, what have you done? Well, I mean, I'm only 44 years old. Now, in the room that I'm in with the company I'm with right now, I'm the old dude in the club. But at the same time, in those 44 years, I was a war veteran before I was old enough to drink. All right, you guys were like maybe in diapers still or grade school. I was in the Air Force. I was in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm. Came home after the war, went back to school, pledged, Grew Social Fellowship Incorporated. Shout out to my brothers here in Philly. Shout out to brothers of the OWL chapter here at Temple University. And we do a lot of community service. So I put in a lot of work, working with kids and people in the community. I became a police officer at the age of 30. Did that for 11 years. I retired early. And shortly before retiring, I found what I really wanted to do with my life, which was be a motivational speaker, be someone who helped people find a way to make a way, to play on the title of my book, shameless plug, to better themselves and improve their lives. So, I mean, I've done a lot in my 44 years. And then one of the things I did not say in that breakdown was graduate from college. See, I went to Rutgers University. I said, where'd you go to school? I went to Rutgers University. I never said I graduated from Rutgers University, but there's something that I learned on my journey because I made a realization that I wanted to really focus on speaking to young people such as yourself. And I can't speak to young people in college about the merits of pursuing your education and sticking with it if it's not something that I did myself. So I actually returned to school and finished my degree last year. So, I mean, you got to find people who are really walking the walk and talking the talk. You can't take everything that people say at face value. You got to check people out for what they're saying. Now, if you got somebody that's just throwing out all kinds of motivational quotes, that's fine because, they're just quotes. Take what you want to get out of it. But if you want to actually invest in yourself and the person that you're seeking that guidance from, you really want to know what they're about and what their qualifications are. So I work very hard at building my qualifications so that I could help people even better, or more so.
Okay. So we still got HRJR in the building. We're going to play some few songs, play some bills as well. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. It's Premier Radio. All right, so we're back. We're tuned into Premier Radio. Got our guest HRJR in the building. Who else we got here?
That's your boy Ja. I was too quick with it.
We got Cold World.
Evan in the building.
Evan's in the cut. Evan's just chilling. Evan's just on the side, I'll walk up to the mic, say my name, and then sit my tail right back down. Y'all go
She
ahead.
handling social media.
That's a beautiful
Working, but she don't see it, you know what I'm saying?
That's
She don't know,
hey,
she on the fly with
That's
it.
work behind the scenes.
That boy moving side.
You got that. So I was saying, like, we're still keeping the motivational shit. You can't steer away from that because that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to feed the people out here. Give them some gems, some positivity.
Absolutely.
So we want to know what inspires you to go along this journey. What exactly brought you to terms of be a motivational speaker?
Sometimes when do things for yourself, you don't really, I mean, you just do it for yourself, but when you do things for others, that's when you really find your way. And another shameless plug on the book, right? What happened with me was I had made the decision that I wanted to focus on just, improving myself. So I made a conscious decision, as funny as it's gonna sound, to put my PlayStation down and start picking up books. One of the first books I picked up was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And the stuff I was learning in that book, I couldn't really apply to myself at that time. The pieces didn't fall into place on how I could apply what I was learning to benefit myself. But I actually used what I learned to give my wife some advice and coach her along the way in terms of what eventually became her beginning her photography business. And I realized that if I could get this woman to actually listen to me and produce results, then hell, I could talk to anybody. And if they're listening and they're receptive, then get them to produce results. So that's how I made the decision to go about becoming a speaker.
All right, and also, as students here at Temple University, we don't want to let this radio thing go. Unfortunately, sometimes, we gotta wrap it up because the semester's ending, unfortunately. We got probably 2-3 more weeks to on radio. So what advice do you have for those, whether they're going into the next semester or those students that are graduating and they're finally about to be in the real world where they're going to do their own,
Well, for the students that are, coming back, take your break, get your rest, come back and, carry on, keep the mission going and graduate. One of the things, I won't necessarily say it's a regret in my life, but I chose to leave school early. And it's something that, hindsight being 2020, maybe I wish I hadn't have done it, but then again, if I'd have chose that path, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation right now. But what I would say to people is that, especially people your age and in school, is that your college degree does not guarantee you anything except options. I mean, unless, you've got a company that came looking for you and offered you a job the day after you graduate, the only thing your college degree is really going to offer you is options. So what I had none of or little of when I decided to leave school was options. I had to, again, find a way to make a way. So my advice to those who are coming back here next semester, bring it behind back here and keep it moving until you do graduate. For those who are graduating, I want you to keep 3 things in mind. Excuse me. There are 3 vocational categories for you, okay? There's a career, which is a vocation you sought and acquired education and training to perform. It's one thing you do because it gives you a sense of purpose. Then there's a calling. A calling is almost identical to a career in that there'll be likely training and education involved and it gives you a sense of purpose, but there's one exception. What you do in your calling, you do it because you love it. And you may love it so much that you would probably do it for free, but the funny thing about life is if you love what you do so much that you do it for free and you do it so well, people will actually pay you for it. I actually got contracted to do a speech a couple of years ago, and I won't say by whom, but they asked me what I would charge them, and I said I'd charge you $500. And that was with the expectation that I would speak for about 20-25 minutes. Now, it's a beautiful thing when you think of $500 for 20-25 minutes of your time. But during the conversation, the individual's like, okay, that's no problem. We talked about a few more things. Oh, by the way, we only need you to speak for about 5 minutes. Okay, cool, no problem. So if you want to pay me $100 a minute, that's a beautiful thing. That's a calling. If you do what you do so well, you might want to do it for free. You might do it for free, but people will pay you for what you do because you love it so much and it exudes from you. And then there's that last category, which is a job, which people have made up the acronym just often broke. Now, having a job is basically an arrangement between you and an employer where you're trading your hours for dollars. Somebody is telling you how much your time is worth to them. And by virtue of your paycheck, they're telling you what you are worth to them by how much they pay you. You may not have any control over that whatsoever. So for those of you that are here, put yourself in a position where you can find a career or perhaps pursue your calling. if you're lucky enough to get a job while you're in the process of pursuing your career or finding your calling, that's a beautiful thing. But you're here paying, your parents are paying all this money, and you taking out all these student loans. The last thing you want to do 20 years from now to show for your education is just to say, I have a job.
That's why we working right now. I'm trying to get me a career.
That's it. That's it. But see, here's the beautiful thing, because this is, radio is not something you guys do every day, and it's something that I gained a great appreciation for, because I started doing an internet radio show of my own we'll talk about later on. But this is something that you have to actually put some heart into. This could very well be a calling. Not everybody's going to be a Wendy Williams. Not everybody's going to be a DJ Envy or Charlemagne or whoever is popping out here in Philly, you know. But those people put in work, just like what you guys are doing right now. Okay, they didn't just walk in and fill out an application. They were interning. They were learning how to work the boards like Shorty over here is doing. And you're doing a great job, Cold World.
Thank you.
You know? So, I mean, but this is the work that you put in. This could be your career. This could be your calling. Or this could just be something that's cool to do so you get a little presence while you're on campus. It's ultimately how you go about pursuing it and the work you put behind it. Listen, one of my cardinal rules is this. You can have, do, and become anything you want in this world, provided you're willing to put forth the work necessary in order to achieve it. And don't let anybody tell you different.
I'm here preaching.
Came in here dropping all knowledge. I didn't know we was gonna get all. I knew we was gonna get some, but I knew we was gonna get all of it.
Well, no, trust me, bro. You ain't getting all of it. You're not getting. People pay to get even more than what you get. You know, that's the beautiful thing. Like I said, I'm following my calling. I thought my calling was to be a cop, but there's an old saying that goes, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him what you got planned. My plan was to, you know, when I decided I wanted to be a speaker, my plan, and I spoke this to God, my plan was to do my 25-year career in law enforcement and build myself up doing the speaking and whatnot, and transition after retirement. But see, God laughed. God said, in my opinion, God said, I'm glad you finally found what I want for you to do. I let you do what you wanted to do. I'm glad you found what I want you to do. Now I'm going to put you through some things. This ain't going to be easy.
Test.
God just picked up my life like a pair of cards and played 52 pickup. All right? And things didn't go the way I would have loved for them to go. But when the dust settled and the smoke cleared, I was right where I was supposed to be and living a life in which I own my time. So it's not going to be easy to get to where you want to get. Just because you say you want to do something, that doesn't mean you're entitled to have it. And that's one of the big misconceptions people have about life. They think because they want to do something and things don't work out, they get faced with an obstacle. Oh, well, it just wasn't meant to be. It's God's will. No, don't blame that mess on God. Don't blame that mess on God. God's going to put obstacles in front of you. He's going to put challenges in front. You are all here in school. If school was easy, you'd be done in 2 weeks. But what happens? You go to class, they give you information, and what happens after a while, periodically during the course of the semester? You get tested. You get what? You got quizzes, then you got midterms, then you got finals. And then guess what? You go home for a couple months or a month and a half or so, and you come back and you got more of the same. You get tested. You can't graduate with a Temple degree or a degree anywhere unless what? You pass the required testing. Life is no different. I'm gonna flip it right quick. Let's talk about sex. Wow, it got quiet.
Now, we gotta talk about. We actually do gotta play these bills. You know what I'm saying?
You got commercial?
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about sex when we come back. Y'all think about it.
Yo, what's up? We are back from Streamer Radio. It's your boy John right here. We are in the building with HRJR. What's up, man?
What's good?
All right, so finish what you were about to say before we went on break. You know, clarify for the listeners real quick.
So we're gonna talk about sex,
All right.
but not what y'all nasty little college student minds was thinking about. And I love throwing people off their game a little bit when I say that. Sex is an acronym for what I believe is every stage of life that we all go through. You start something, the S, you endure, That's the E. You complete it. That's the C. And then you start something new. That's the other S. So S-E-C-S, sex. So get your little dirty minds out the gutter, all you people on Temple University and Whipland and iHeartRadio land. No, that's the progression of life. There's not one avenue or aspect of your life that any of us haven't followed that recipe. From pre-K, kindergarten, to being here at Temple or wherever people are going to school and going on to get your doctorate, your masterate. You start something, you endure it, you complete it, and you start something new. And if you understand that your life is broken down into those 4 aspects, what you can then begin doing is not so much focus on the quantity of time that you have, but the quality you use to make that time count. Because no matter whether you're Donald Trump or whoever rich person you could think of, or the poorest person in the most butt-cracked corner of the world, everybody gets the same 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, right.
So it's a matter of what you do with that time and what you do with your life, especially you guys at this age, you young men and women, you brothers and sisters at this age. What you do with your time now will pretty much determine how the rest of your life goes. There was some advice that a college professor had given me in, I want to say 88, 89, when I was a freshman in college, and you guys probably weren't even born yet. What he said to me then was, if you just buckle down for these 4 years, you'll be able to coast pretty much the rest of your life. And what's sad is that I didn't pay attention to that advice. So I want to, until later on in life, and once I buckled down during those 4 years, I'm able to be where I am in my life now. So it only goes to show that he was right, and I should have listened to his advice that much sooner. So my gift to you all who are in this studio with me, who are on campus listening, and whoever's listening via iHeartRadio, is wherever you are in your life, buckle down for the next 4 years. And I guarantee you, if you focus on whatever it is that you really want to accomplish with your life, 4 years, you buckle down, put that time in, put the work in, better yourself, educate yourself, pick up a book. And I guarantee you your life will be better. I'm not saying you're going to be rich. I'm not saying you're going to be famous. But I guarantee you, pause myself sometimes. I'm regular radio. I got an internet radio show. I pretty much let loose sometimes. But put that time in, and the returns will come. You will definitely improve your life. But if you buckle down, put the time in, you will definitely appreciate it for yourself.
It's not really possible. There's so much stuff that we can still get into, but the show is concluded, unfortunately.
Hey, time flies when you're having fun.
It does, surprisingly, man.
Yeah, man.
It was a great interview. We appreciate you coming by.
Bro, this is my 3rd time here, and I'm here anytime you want me to be here, man. Enjoy your summer, enjoy your summer.
Yeah, it's almost.
And I'll be back in the fall. Ain't no thing. No thing.
Where can we follow you social media wise, and also any upcoming events?
Oh my God, you can find me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/HRJR Speaks. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HS Reed Jr. By the way, so that my family knows that I'm actually here doing this, my government name, I'm not afraid to give my government name, it is Harold S. Reed Jr. I also have my own radio show, my internet radio show called Find a Way to Make a Way Show. It airs live on www.bks1radio.com. That's in B as in boy, K as in kilo, S as in Sam, the number 1.com, radio.com. And again, my show airs every Friday night from 8 to 9. So before y'all get ready to go out and run the streets or whatever, tune in, have some
great
fun.
night. HRJR Premier Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, 10 place, 9 p.m. Also, where can they reach us at, social media wise, and email?
You can reach us at Premier Radio TU on Twitter. It's the same thing on Instagram. So yeah, follow us.
Put her on the spot.
We did.
She wasn't ready.
Everybody got to start somewhere. And I'm gonna leave you with this. It's funny that you put her on the spot. She was kind of nervous a little bit. Here's the thing. When you are holding your skill, anytime is showtime. And when you are holding your skill, true enough, you won't have to go look for work. Work will come looking for you.
Y'all hear that?
I hear it.
Take that, internalize it.
Capitalize.
You go to sleep on it. And yo, make sure y'all catch us tomorrow. Yo, we about to run over. All right, so it's Premier Radio. It's been a great show. Thank you for coming through again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so whoa, I'm over here getting flustered, man.
I have that effect.
Yo, he had that effect.
Yeah.
I'm stumbling my words. Well, it was a good night. Y'all have a great time. It's Premier Radio.